They called my boss to get me fired, so I bankrupted their entire HOA. I open my mailbox and find a notice from Riverside Meadows HOA with a fine of $6,400 for parking my plumbing van overnight, and I read it twice because I'm a single mom, and that van is how I feed my daughter. I call the HOA office, and Karen Stillwell answers. She's the president, 52 years old, living in the biggest house on the block, and she tells me to pay the fine or face foreclosure. I ask for a hearing, and she laughs. Then she says the line I'll never forget. Blue-collar workers and single mothers lower our property values. You don't fit here, Sarah. 2 days later, my phone rings and it's my supervisor telling me someone from the HOA called him, told him I was violating local ordinances, told him I was untrustworthy. I try to explain, but he doesn't care. And just like that, I'm fired. $67,000 a year gone. That's when I remember who I am. Sarah Mitchell, 34 years old, licensed plumber in Marietta, Georgia. But before that, I earned a paralegal certificate and spent 3 years studying property law before my daughter was born. I pull the HOA documents that night, bylaws, charter, incorporation papers, and check the Georgia Secretary of State database, and then I see it. The HOA charter expired 14 months ago and they never renewed it, which means legally this HOA doesn't exist. I file in Superior Court with a motion to void all fines, a counterclaim for tortious interference with employment, and a second counterclaim for Fair Housing Act violation, based on discrimination against my source of income, attaching the expired charter, Karen's voicemail, and my termination letter. The judge reviews everything and nullifies the $6,400 fine, then orders the HOA to mediation, because Georgia's Fair Housing Act is crystal clear. You cannot retaliate against homeowners for their occupation. You cannot call their employer, and you cannot threaten foreclosure to punish them. 89 days after I lost my job, we settle, with the HOA paying me $125,000, withdrawing all violations and issuing a written apology. But here's the beautiful part. Their legal fees hit $340,000, and insurance won't cover it because they operated without a valid charter. So the HOA votes to dissolve permanently. Karen sells her house 3 months later and moves out of state while the neighborhood is finally free. I get my plumbing license, start my own company, and park my van wherever I want. Tell me, ever had an HOA ruin your career? Drop your nightmare below.